Hello everyone, this is Dr. Bob DeMaria with another episode of Ask Dr. Bob. Some really interesting new questions. Very good question. My 10-year-old grandson is still wetting the bed, which is embarrassing and frustrating to him. You went on to say he had a spinal fusion and he wanted him to overcome what was going on with the bedwetting. Now, bedwetting itself could be a dietary problem and it could be a nervous system situation. That's why I was also surprised because of the spinal fusion for a 10-year-old. One of the most common foods we see that create distress going on with bedwetting potentially could be dairy products. But I would also have your 10-year-old grandson check for parasites. You may consider a CBC, that's Charlie Bravo Charlie, with a differential, and look at the eosinophil count. Make sure that he is avoiding dairy products. If you have dairy and it's not organic, there are a lot of chemicals. A lot of times this is a chemical sensitivity. One last thought, sometimes not having enough B vitamins can be a part of it. Oftentimes it's a food sensitivity, dairy being the most common. Another very good question, what do you suggest for my kids that wake up multiple times during the night? I'm gonna go back to number one. When it comes to possibility, it could be a parasite issue, because what will happen is parasites become very active at nighttime, and they also can create distress with the bladder. Now, oftentimes as an adult, if we have an adult goes to bed at 10 and they wake up at 11, it usually means they need B vitamins. If someone goes to bed at 10 and wakes up at 1 o'clock in the morning, it could be parasites. If someone goes to bed at 10 and wakes up at 3 o'clock in the morning, it could be a blood sugar stress issue. So I give you lots of different possibilities of what exactly could be going on. So last question, very good question. I read an article by myself, Dr. Bob, online, and I was wondering what the rationale is for 3 items that I do speak about the lower cholesterol: apples, beets, and carrots. All 3 are high in sugar, which doesn't seem to align with this no sugar, no fruit approach to diet. Now here's what's going on. I can tell you that a half an apple will give you 11 grams of carbs. If you eat a cup of beet, you'll also have 11 grams of carbs. We usually suggest people do about a third cup of beet fiber. And a medium to large carrot could be 7 grams. So depending on how you look at it, you're talking anywhere from 20 to 27 grams of carbohydrates. But the side benefit of apple, beets, and carrots, lowering one's cholesterol potentially when it's dietary induced, could be up to 40%. The reason I really emphasize the dietary induced is because when cholesterol is elevated and your triglycerides are normal, it's a very important point, your cholesterol is probably elevated because of stress. On the other hand, if your cholesterol is elevated and your triglycerides are elevated, that's from too many carbs. I have a lot of research that's on this particular answer for those of you who wonder where I received that information. So Ohio State University did it on apples, and another organization did it on the beet fiber. So I would continue half an apple every day, at least a third cup of beet fiber, and a medium carrot. It really comes down to choosing, because you could have any kind of breakfast pastry or a bagel that'll give you so many more grams of carbohydrates. Excellent question. I'm Dr. Bob DeMaria.